Time for Stugotz's weekend observations.
It is time for Stugotz to share his game notes. No one in the media will tell you what happened better than my boy Stu.
Weekend observations brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories, available for delivery. Dan, this is last weekend. After going 30 of 44 for 244 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and a QBR of 33.6, while leading his team to a 16-13 win over the Ravens that propelled the Steelers into the playoffs. Dan, not only is he alive and well, but make no mistake about it, Ben Roethlisberger is back.
Jessica, are you expecting to be dragged this weekend? Are you expecting for Ben Roethlisberger's carcass to be dragged around the field? What are the Steelers? 12-point dog, 8-point dog? What kind of dog are they?
More than that. I thought they were like 14-point dogs. Ben Roethlisberger yesterday in his press conference was like, well, we don't have a shot, so we're going to go out there and have fun. And I like that attitude, Dan. Let's just go have some fun.
That's what you got to do. Yep. Benjamin Todd Roethlisberger Sr. Big Ben.
12.5-point dog, according to our soulmates at DraftKings.
I think the Steelers are going to win the game. How about that?
You
As
love
long as there's a
favorites.
safety.
Usually like Chiefs. You love big
It's a
favorites.
dangerous game for the chefs, I'm telling you.
Stugotz just got done. I'm not kidding you. Stugotz just got done showing me his 60-40 gambling record this year in the pros, as if he has some secret information that's allowing him to pick games correctly.
Either.
Most recent time we saw these two teams play, Stugotz, it was an absolute boat race.
Yes, it was.
You usually take
You're
the
right.
You're not keeping that as data at all. You're
No.
just on that different game for Benjamin Todd.
Yes, and to be clear on my record, it's 64-49 for the season. I mean, that's pretty good.
I made
Pretty
it
good.
better than that. I made it
You did.
60-40, and
wanted to be
you wanted to
accurate
be.
on this
That's
one.
where you wanted
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Coward's had a terrible year. A lot of good gamblers that I've known have had a terrible year, and people that are terrible, like our celeb prognosticators, and Stugotz are having good years.
Well, is Coward
Cody's
usually
having a really good year too.
is Cowherd usually good? Is he?
Nah,
good?
Well, I mean, usually he's a lot better than what he is, but a lot of sharps or people that think that they're sharps have really struggled this year. While Joe Public, like Greg Cody and Stugotz, are out here celebrating like they know something.
What is the record for us? 3 of 4 years, 4 of 5 where we've beaten Cowherd with a plethora of celebrity junk. Whoever will return our calls after Rick Ross beats Cowherd and disappears, and all the other guys like Magnus Magnuson, and living in Iceland, doesn't know anything about football, has been burying Cowherd for 3 years running because we can't get another celebrity to answer the phone.
Yes, I will come back.
Speaking of back, holy bleep, Eric Weddle?
That was great.
What?
That was great. The Rams are like just saying, never mind. He hasn't played all season. We'll bring him in for the playoffs. He's going to start at safety.
I wonder if Dan will ever doubt the importance of a tie again.
There it is.
Yes.
A winning argument. Stugotz, as always, gets to be right 2 years later.
There is nothing like a good tie.
It's been 2 seasons on Eric Weddle. 2.
What?
Yeah, and he's just jumping in for the playoffs.
Weird times.
It's great. I think a lot of football players would prefer to play that way.
I
just jump back in.
Derrick Henry, I think the entire Titans organization would allow Derrick Henry to sit out next season and try to grind and fart your way to 12-5 and see if you could do it, losing to the Texans and the Jets as long as he's healthy during the playoffs.
Terrell Owens wanted to jump back in for the playoffs. Just the playoffs.
I thought for
I'd take
sure.
him.
I thought for sure the move was going to be for Larry Fitzgerald to either sign with the Cardinals or Buccaneers right before the playoffs, because he's always been very careful to not say that he's retired.
He's so good that he's just going to do it for like an AFC or an NFC championship game. Once this thing gets ground down to just you can get guys off the street the way they're doing Joe Johnson in basketball.
I think he's missing the cutoff. I think that's why Weddle had to
You
do
don't-
this right now.
You were not aware that Joe Johnson is in the NBA?
I know Lance Stevenson is.
You're just learning now that Joe Johnson.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Ski Mask Joe? That Joe. ISO Joe? That Joe?
That Joe.
Where's he at?
Hell if I know. Somewhere.
Is he still a Celtic? Because a lot of
No
these,
way, no.
like Mario Chalmers came and went without actually stepping on the court. So I always assume that maybe some of these veteran names that I get excited about aren't going to turn out like ISO Joe, but he had a moment.
I just love, though, the idea of ISO Joe, Ski Mask Joe, still coming back at the time of total disorientation in the NBA and just grabbing another few dollars.
We are researching right now, but it appears as though ISO Joe is no longer with the Celtics.
That's too bad. Add to his career earnings, though. Find out what he made on those hardship 10-day contracts.
Are we certain he's in the league, though?
He played 2 spectacular minutes where the guard didn't lit up for him.
They got a standing O.
Standing Joe.
Standing Joe? Hey. He's bad. He's bad. You don't have all the lines.
Pounding on the desk. You want all the lines? The one that's so obvious that me and Stugotz can even figure it out.
2 minutes added $151,000 to that grand
That's
total.
so great.
Career earnings $215 million.
So
And
Jesus.
$151,000.
Was he a part of the parade of Hawks that they were celebrating the 12 division title in 75 years? What a crappy, sad Hawk celebration.
Yeah, was he one of the Hawks?
It is a lame celebration, though. You're right. Let's celebrate our division title.
12 division titles, 75 years.
Dan, you know what the C in Colt stands for?
No.
Choke. I went there. Speaking of C's, a few weeks ago, Tony C thought Jonathan Taylor should win MVP. He should be ashamed of himself. Jacksonville Jaguars almost peaked at the wrong time. In 2022, how are there not better options for offensive coordinator than Bill O'Brien or Jay Gruden?
Hi.
Deion Sanders.
Hi.
Be careful.
Hi.
Temptations
Hi.
and expectations
Hi.
are on the way.
Hi.
Really?
Coach Prime.
You want to already start questioning?
Yeah.
This is what you're going to care about Jackson State football about, just to come over, sniff, and say, we'll see, here are some expectations, and never pay attention to any of their games afterward?
You get great players, they come with expectations, and then what happens is temptation, Dan. I'm telling you, Florida State is coming after Deion. They are. And he's going to be tempted to leave where he's at to go to Florida State. Who wouldn't? And I'm just telling him, be careful. It's coming. So
And what?
I don't know.
You think that Deion Sanders, who has spent the last 3 years achieving the overcoming of obstacles, is afraid of your expectations? Okay, your withering criticism. All right.
Well, I have the temptations. I mean,
No, but I'm just saying that if the
nah, he
temptation,
doesn't care about mine.
and just everybody's like, okay, Deion, here's the pressure. I'm sure Deion does not welcome that.
Hi.
Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson,
Hi.
and Najee Harris
Hi.
are going to make a good quarterback
Hi.
very happy someday.
Hi.
Trevor Lawrence signs death, taxes, and Justin Tucker. It seems like every Ravens game for the past decade has been close. Right?
I bet Tucker over 7.5 points in Steelers Ravens. Over 7.5, because it's Tucker. Come on. I want to get a couple of touchdown extra points and a couple of field goals, right? 7.5. How about 7? How about Roethlisberger in the playoffs, eking out in overtime, farting out, under 17 points? Assholes.
Steelers are dangerous.
Just all of it. Making me watch that game to get into the playoff.
Betting kicker over
I know.
under is quite something.
Sad, actually.
You want to talk about it?
I'm ashamed of it. But it's making me pay attention because I keep hearing every week you guys come in here, death, taxes, and Justin Tucker. I'm like, I should make money off that. No, I just paid my tax. I paid my tax and died a little bit watching the death, taxes, and Justin Tucker Steelers-Ravens game.
Hi.
Because I needed the kicker.
Hi.
In overtime, I'm like, come on, Ravens, let's kick a field goal. Get Roethlisberger's ass out of the playoffs so I can win $54 on this.
You had to lay an extra $4.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and this is how every
To
week,
win 50, that's a unit.
this is how every week, since Aaron Rodgers won the Super Bowl, I pay Stugotz so he can meet the bookie behind the Walmart. one bet at a time.
We really need DraftKings to become legal in this state.
I enjoy it. I got to be honest with you. Just not on Mondays. It's sad.
No, you don't. I'm telling you, the mobile gaming experience is on another level. This meeting a bookie in a parking lot nonsense is.
It makes me feel alive. I hand him a bag of cash. He hands me a bag of cash. I'm still looking around to see if there's a cop around. I love it.
It's 2021. The walls have fallen. Oh, 22. Excuse me. That's a fine.
It is.
Look at Chris Cody. Delighted with
A mistake. John Harbaugh. You know what analytics cost you? A playoff berth. How about that? Carson Wentz. Too little, too late. The C in Carson might stand for clipboard.
Did any of you feel bad for the way that Wentz and Matt Ryan had to play football this year? It's like they were playing on the nubs of their knees. They didn't have ankles. They're just running around out there and trying not to end up with a bunch of grass in their face mask.
Yeah, but Wentz is doing that to himself. He has a really good offensive line. He just wants to hold on to the ball forever.
Matt Ryan's trying to get it out fast as he can to Pitts. Like, I want to get it out. Okay, we've got a pterodactyl at tight end. Let me get it out. Oh, no, I'm getting swallowed again. Let me run over here for 2.5 yards.
Matty Ice. The Steelers and Ravens have played that game 1,000 times. Mike Tomlin punted the Steelers season away. Whoops. Regret writing that one. I don't even remember what I was doing.
Why would you not edit it before?
I don't know.
Why would you not?
That's how I felt in the moment.
4 days to edit.
Yeah.
You thought Mike Tomlin went to bed that night, didn't watch Ravens Chargers. You and 4 and 5 days afterward didn't edit that to have Mike Tomlin in the playoff.
I want to allow people to, have access to what I was actually feeling in the moment. And that's what I was feeling in the moment. He punted the season away.
What you typed into your notes.
I did edit it. I added whoops.
Good work. Excellent work as always.
Thank you. Jake Fromm can scoot. You know what the F in Fromm stands for, Dan?
I do not.
It stands for fast. Vic Fangio must be so confused. I think that he thinks 7-10 is a solid season and something to build on. Poor Fangs.
Put it on the poll, please. Does Vic Fangio think 7-10 is a thing to build on?
I order. I'm sorry. What happened there?
Wow.
I order everything on the room service menu every night, even when I'm not hungry, at an all-inclusive hotel. Do you do that? I mean, you tear up the buffets all day. You go home, you're not hungry, but you realize you've already paid for everything. You open up the menu, you order one of everything. You do it? It feels great. Yeah. Give me one of everything.
You know what that's called, right?
What?
Munchies.
Yeah.
Where were you in Mexico? You were there for a Dead and Company concert?
Yeah, that never happened.
All this checks out.
Mm-hmm.
He crawled in on
Rough
Monday
weekend.
as if he'd had a rough weekend at
It was
a
Tuesday.
free resort, extra day. Incidentally, we should tell the audience so they don't get mad at us in advance. We are off on Monday, Martin Luther King Day. You will not get us next week until Tuesday. Another long weekend for Stugotz to come in here Tuesday complaining about. I smoked too much weed, ate too much. I got too many things for free. My life stinks.
Listen, I was on a plane. I was there to see a concert. The concert was canceled while I was on the plane. I know it sounds nice, weekend in Mexico, and it was. There were parts of it that were very nice. There were also parts that were very disappointing and very stressful. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
You putting out that tape so you can put in for the refund, huh?
You know I am. Inside of the 30 to 60 day window, preferably. I mean, I'm waiting that long.
Emotional distress.
Yeah.
You're going to write a sternly worded letter about what a miserable free weekend in Mexico you had?
Yeah.
Wait till all the companies get a load of these letters that ask for refunds. What a miserable weekend. His proof is that he came in on Tuesday and harumphed and then started checking lines immediately. Hey, did I win last night? Look at that. The Nets, I won.
Felt good.
That was fun.
Lawrence looks good. A win. And you still get the #1 overall pick. The rare good afternoon for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags. The Dolphins' scripted opening drive at home might be the prettiest thing in all of sports.
Why are they so good at that only on the first drive?
It's weird.
What's happening there, Whittingham? Has anyone analyzed this? Why can the Dolphins only do offense on the first drive? Is it because they meticulously drill the perfection into 2 on the first drive, all the prep of the week, and then they don't have any answers after that?
I guess because it's not like the Dolphins have good offensive coordinators, so it's not like they're genius scripters. I have no idea.
But it's beautiful, right?
It is.
It
It
is.
is. And
It's
it's
amazing.
also like the 15 play variety of offense where it's not like they create big plays. It's just they're precisely running their offense and then completely forget the rest of the game how to precisely run this offense.
That's so odd.
It's weird.
Trust me when I tell you, nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to face the Steelers in the playoffs. Which leads me, Dan, to my final top 5 teams you don't want to face in the playoffs of the 2021 season.
Wow, this is a big list. Okay,
Yes.
hold on a second. Worth the wait for all weekend. I do want to just want to analyze this little nugget of football. Do you guys care at all as the Saints try and get in the playoffs and we look at the Chargers and the Colts and say, man, those seem like playoff teams? Do any of you not see the dilution in standard that results in football playoffs being larger to now allow in Pittsburgh and Philadelphia 2 teams that we know shouldn't be there? Like that just aren't. I know they've made it past the new model. Jessica, you're going to shake your head no, but that's like the very bottom rung of, is that mediocre? Yeah, that's pretty mediocre. Oh, look, it's a notch above mediocre, and we're going to start allowing that into the playoffs now in football because we need yet more money.
You want less football, Dan? Come on.
Okay, so no one cares about that, right? We
Nope.
don't care that now they might win because football's funny, but the Eagles and Steelers exist in the playoffs just to be another cash register because we needed to expand the playoffs.
They might win. They're playing the Bucks and the Chiefs. I mean,
Well, they're not likely to win, but I'm saying that can happen. And does anyone care that the bottom of your playoffs have been compromised and bought by kind of shitty teams? No? Okay, good. Let's keep moving on.
It was like that before they expanded it.
yeah.
Okay. So we're just allowing a little more diarrhea
you're-
into
Nine
the
and 7
playoffs.
teams have won
Okay.
Super Bowls,
You're
man.
pretending like we didn't see Saturday
Okay.
window playoff football.
You're the one who just said they're playing the Bucks and the
I
Chiefs.
know,
Yes,
I know.
9 and 7 teams. They've got a puncher's chance. Fair enough.
If the Chargers got in, I'd feel better about that.
Yeah.
But the NFC, there were 6 playoff teams.
Yeah.
We don't need the Eagles or the Saints.
No, we do.
Okay, we do. According to Stugotz, we're watching
We'll
what?
never know.
Is it the 4th string quarterback the Saints were throwing out there in a couple of the games this
Taysom
season?
Hill. I mean.
I still expect to see the Texans in that first playoff game.
Noon on Saturday.
I remember the Ryan Lindley start. It wasn't great shakes prior to.
That Texans game, Hoyer started. Who else started? They had like a couple of different shutouts.
Matt
where
Schaub.
The Texans get into the playoffs and get shut out.
Tom Savage?
Yeah, there was TJ Yates.
Oh my God, you're right. Never mind.
I think I saw Marcus Mariota throw a touchdown pass to himself one of those early window games. Yeah.
This is, put it on the poll, please. Do you remember Marcus Mariota throwing a touchdown pass to himself? What do you have there, Stugotz? This is a very big deal. I'm surprised we waited 4 or 5 days to do this.
These are the top 5 teams, the final top 5 teams that you don't want to face in the playoffs.
This is good.
Yeah.
So they're not in the playoffs, or they are in the playoffs? Like, are the Colts and the Chargers going to be in here, or this is not? This is just your top 5?
We'll see.
All right.
Number
5.
Thank you. The Patriots. Dan, imperative the Bills get them this week. You don't want Belichick picking up steam.
Wait
you
a
just
minute.
don't want
An
it to
imperative
happen.
game? You're not
Yeah.
calling it a must-win game?
I'll
It's an
tell you,
imperative game?
Great use of
Bills-
imperative.
Yeah, the Bills have to pick them off this week. You do not want Belichick picking up steam and confidence and strolling into your stadium. You don't want anything to do with it. You know?
I'm surprised Dan was waxing poetic about Connor Cook versus Brock Osweiler.
Number 4.
The Cardinals. Kyler Murray. Any given week.
I don't trust them at all. I don't know what happened to them at the end of the season.
I don't trust him at all either, but if he plays well, Dan, they could win a game. You don't want to see him. Okay?
It might be the best Cardinals team ever, given that those Cardinals teams of 9 and 7, Kurt Warner would lose 50 points a game on the road. It might be the best Cardinals team ever, and I don't trust them at all. I thought after 12 games they were the best team in the league. So
Yeah.
Again, I don't.
You
know
don't
what-
want to see him.
I don't know
Trust
what
me.
this
They,
is.
they
Yeah.
made it to the Super Bowl that year that they got blown out by 50, and you would say the exact same thing about them.
Uh-huh.
And they did beat another team.
They were 9-7 that year, though, and they were losing, getting blown out all the time on the road.
Do you trust the Cowboys? Because during this stretch of not trusting the Cardinals, they beat the
Yeah,
Cowboys.
and they went to
Did the
Dallas
Cowboys
and
assume
do
the
it?
transitive
Yeah,
property?
they beat him
of
in
not
Dallas.
trusting
Yeah.
him?
So weird. And Dallas is the best offense in the playoffs, right? The Denver went to Dallas and shut them out. What the hell sense does that make? Or had them shut out before the last couple of minutes. Number 3.
The Bengals. Burrow, Mixon, Chase.
Are you telling us to chase Burrow and Mixon?
I'm telling you don't want to see him.
Okay.
Good.
Number 2.
Dan, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What?
Big Ben is not going out without 34 completions for 227 yards and a chance to win the game at the end.
I feel like everyone wants to see the Steelers.
I mean, who doesn't want to see the Steelers upset the Chiefs? It's a classic matchup. Super wild card
Not
weekend,
me.
by the way. Oh, my God.
I want Mahomes. Thank you.
It's a super wild card
You want more Roethlisberger. Number 1.
The Vikings. Dan, I am telling you, if that team is healthy, Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Jefferson, Thielen,
Are they still in your top 5?
they are better than half of the playoff. Yes, they are they're in my top 5 power rankings. That team could win a Super Bowl. They could.
Well,
if
not
they were
this
healthy.
year. Not this
No,
year. They can't.
no.
They could not.
But you wouldn't want to see them, would you?
I would not want to see them.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, would you rather see the Eagles than the
I wouldn't
Vikings?
see the Chargers. I wouldn't want to see the Colts either.
Right. Oh, you might want to see the Colts.
A half-hour edition of the Weekend Observation.
Well, he ran out of gas. He was just staring at me, dumbfounded, paralyzed as if in a weed stupor for about 4 seconds there after number 2 or number 3, where he's just staring at me.
Oh, I was waiting.
Keep it tight.
You're supposed to say number 2. I think J.J. Watt secretly hates that his brother is better. You know what the H in J.J. stands for, Dan?
Hurry up.
Hater. It's silent. Seriously, though, Dan. You know what the J in J.J. stands for?
Jerk, hurry it up.
It stands for jealous. Mike Ryan. Too little, too late. Alabama. Blah, blah, blah. Nick Saban. Blah, blah, blah. How am I doing? Speaking of hell, Art Briles.
Tight.
Dan, those
Tight.
are the weekend observations.